Today, I have for you Heineken versus Pabst. Heineken is a European pale lager, 5% ABV. Pabst is an American adjunct lager with 4.6, 4.7, I think, maybe 5, I don't know, I can't remember. And these are leftover beers from my 32 beer triple elimination bracket challenge. So I decided to throw them up against each other because as far as American adjunct lagers go, Pabst seems to be an okay one. It's rated higher than a lot of the others. It's rated higher than Budweiser, Busch, Miller High Life, Coors. It's rated higher than all the big name American adjunct lagers by the beer sites. And in the triple elimination bracket, it didn't get eliminated right away. I think it won 1 or 2 matches, maybe 3, I can't remember. I'll have to go and look. But it's going to go up against Heineken, which didn't perform that well in the triple elimination bracket. It might have won 1 or 2 before it got eliminated. But the first thing you'll notice about the Pabst is it retains more of a head. I tried to pour this without stirring anything up and without creating a head because I didn't want any kind of loss in carbonation or flatness there. But I couldn't. It just produced a head no matter how slowly and easily I poured it. Whereas I was able to pour the Heineken nice and slow without stirring up much, and of course there was no head on it. Now, there's a side-by-side close-up where you can see that the Pabst appears to be more carbonated. But I don't know if that's the right word to say, more carbonated, because more bubbles are coming up, and what that could mean is that the ability of this beer to maintain the carbonation that's in it is less than the ability of this one to maintain the carbonation in it. So maybe that could be why it is producing more bubbles. I don't know. I am a physicist, but I don't know the mechanics of this right here. I haven't looked into it. But anyway, there's really no point in me to mix these up and trying to do a blind taste test. And the reason is because I'm going to know when I take a sip out of this. I'm going to feel that foam on my lip, and I'll know which one is which. So I am not biased. I'm just going to sip them and see which one I like better. Now there's that smell, that aroma, the skunkiness. Very common with Heineken in my experience. Kind of a skunky taste. Not bad though. It's got some sharpness to it. Some tang. And it's that flavor, that unique Heineken flavor that I never really was crazy about, but compared to some other beers, it's better. And that's the thing, when you do a side-by-side comparison, you might drink this, might not like it, but you need to try something right next to it. You think, well, it's better. I mean, this is not off-putting like some other beers that I've had. For example, what was the last beer that I did that didn't really care for and don't want to drink? Labatt Blue. Labatt Blue had a flavor that was just off-putting. But this is not off-putting. It's a flavor you might not be crazy about, but it really isn't repulsive like Labatt Blue. Now, I can imagine you Lamont Blue fans out there are really going to light up my comment section. Maybe you won't. But hey, that's just the way I see it. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact, it's my opinion. Now, that is surprisingly good. I was expecting it to be watery and flat and weak compared to this, but it's good. I'm surprised about Pabst. I really am. I had this when I was a kid. I was a Budweiser drinker, and then there was Pabst, and you have a Pabst, and you say, that shit ain't any good. But you're a kid, and you're just doing it because it's cooler to drink Budweiser. At least it was where I grew up, near St. Louis. So how do I describe this in comparison to this? Maybe a more caramely, richer caramely taste, maybe maltiness? Where's it the hops? I don't know. Hops usually causes bitterness, and I don't think there's much bitterness in there. So it might be the malts that they use to give it that flavor. Now this one is good but weaker. This one definitely has more flavor. This one is not bitter at all. It's fairly well balanced. It kind of got a bit of a dryness to the finish, a bit of a sawdusty feel, which is kind of off-putting. I'm leaning towards this one as the better one. Which yeah, the finish is definitely better on that. And I've noticed that there are several adjunct lagers that have this dry, sawdusty type of finish that kind of makes it bad or off-putting. Coors is another one that I can remember. But yeah, now, the more I drink them, things are starting to come out. Whereas this is not, it's not tasting as good as it was when I first started. But this one is tasting just as good as it was when I first started. It's all right. Not great, but all right. Better than this so far. Yeah, I definitely think I would rather drink another Heineken than a Pabst. That's not to say that, Pabst is so bad that I don't want any more of it. Like Labatt Blue and Red Stripe. And there were some others that I have tried. And after really drinking enough of it where the real characteristics of the flavor have come out and presented themselves, I didn't want any more of it. Dos Equis. Yeah, Dos Equis. Especially, when I first tried it, it's okay. You go to a Mexican restaurant, you try it and eat it with your Mexican food. It's not bad. But in a beer bracket challenge, I bought it. I bought a 6-pack of it. And it got eliminated right away. And then I had the rest of it to drink. And when I finished that 6-pack, I don't think I drank it all at once, but when I got done drinking that 6-pack, I didn't want any more of it. Same thing happened with the Red Stripe. Busch was a really watery beer with hardly any flavor to it. So I didn't include that one in my 32 beer challenge either. There were just some beers that I thought were just so bad they would just get eliminated right away. And there's really no point in including them. So, anyway. I've got to give this to Heineken. Heineken just has more flavor. More flavor, not as dry. A more rich taste to it, stronger. So, Heineken beats Pabst, in my opinion. And that's all I got to say about that.